In the midst of this city's stunning skyline is the center of Catholicism in Chicago. Towering over the corner of State and Superior is Holy Name Cathedral.
This is the centerpiece. This is the place where Chicago people who believe in God go to pray. Not just Catholic people, certainly Catholic people, but this is the center place. This is the place where God meets humanity.
It's been that way for more than 150 years. Between the thick limestone walls and panes of stained glass is a rich history. 6 cardinals have presided here.
We come to you, Father, with praise and thanksgiving.
It's the seat of the Archdiocese and home to the Archbishop of Chicago.
For me, therefore, it's the most important church in the Archdiocese, and also for Catholics of the Archdiocese, it's their cathedral.
And a unique one at that. Unlike the majority of cathedrals around the country, Holy Name is also a thriving parish with over 5,000 registered families. Robin Brown has been a parishioner for the past 12 years.
I have met so many wonderful people here, and that's the key for me. I think people who will be friends of mine forever.
There's something here for everybody, whether they're 5 years old or 105. It's much more than a spiritual meeting place. It provides a way of life, I think, for anybody that's really takes Catholicism and their church life seriously.
Think of this from the letter of St. James.
From religious education programs to social outreach to the celebration of sacraments, Holy Name has something for everyone. 500,000 people visit the cathedral each year, most attending one of the 35 masses offered weekly.
Every week, 10,000 people go through here. And the wear and tear and everything that's here shows up in little ways. And so, in keeping any organization together, just to keep it at the standard to which it was, you have to have constant replacement, renovation. So, it's necessary.
Bishop Timothy J. Line should know. He was Holy Name's pastor during the cathedral's last major renovation back in the late 1960s. Now, almost 4 decades later, the cathedral is undertaking another ambitious renovation project.
These are things that have been put on the back burner or maybe haven't been noticed up until this point in our history, when we see that we've got to be able to do our best and we've got to be able to function at our best. And the projects that we've earmarked for support are things that are necessary. They're not extras.
With the kickoff of the Restore and Renew Capital campaign, Holy Name Cathedral will seek to address 5 major areas: maintenance and preservation, restoration of the rectory, accessibility for the disabled, improvement of the courtyard, and the creation of a building reserve fund or endowment.
If you don't take care of things, you lose them. You lose them.
The goal of the Restore and Renew campaign is to make sure that doesn't happen, and it all starts with the preservation plan. Funds will be directed to address several critical maintenance issues. First and foremost, the repair of the cathedral's crumbling limestone facade.
You know, we can't have, parts of a building flaking off, or we can't have things look as run down as they could look if we don't start to pay attention to them right now. That's an old building, and we've got to take care of this old building.
Much needed maintenance includes replacing the 50-year-old boilers, cathedral floor, and roof membrane, while upgrading the air conditioning and lighting control systems.
Because if we continued to try to function with the old equipment that we had, that's just not wise. That's not the good use of the money that people are able to give us to do what we're supposed to be doing. To do things efficiently, that makes more sense.
The same holds true for the rectory. Built in 1929, the building has been virtually untouched since its construction.
It's always been very hospitable, but the rooms are very small and very crowded. It was built in 1929, and so our standards for what is a decent human habitation have changed somewhat, and it needs a lot of attention.
Plans for restoration include a functional redesign of the first floor parish offices.
We'd like to be able to redesign this to make it look more welcoming, but also to make it more practical. I've been here 5 years. I still don't have an office. I would like to have an office.
An emphasis will also be made to increase security for staff members while updating plumbing, heating, and ventilation systems in the clergy's living quarters.
If we're going to make this a home for people who have to do their best in ministry, we got to fix the place up. It's not up to the standards of our neighbors, and it's not up to the standards of just simple good living. It's an old building we're living in, and that needs attention.
Something else in need of attention, the issue of accessibility. David and Jane Louise Renzi have been parishioners at Holy Name for 35 years, but they've faced several challenges because of David's disability, starting with their own wedding.
To get him up on the altar for the wedding, we had the best man, the 2 ushers, and the husband of my matron of honor carry him up the steps. And then they had to carry him back down. And we had to do the same thing when he had our children baptized.
It's embarrassing to have 150 weddings a year here. And I have to ask every couple when I first meet with them, you expect anybody's going to be here who's using a wheelchair? If they are, well, they've got to have somebody with them to be able to open the door. And we have to tell them that there's really no place for them to use the facilities. That's long overdue.
Not only are the bathrooms in the cathedral not accessible to the disabled, the same can be said for the entire basement, sacristy, and chapel. The Disabled Accessibility Plan will address those concerns, reconstructing the ramp outside the plaza to meet current code, adding an interior elevator, renovating the downstairs and sacristy bathrooms, and building a ramp to the sanctuary.
I'm disabled myself, so I may start using the ramps instead of the stairs. Those are steep stairs.
I've lived out all of those things and come to sort of accept it, but I don't think I really should have to. That church is supposed to be open to all people.
The Restore and Renew campaign will also seek to raise funds for the improvement of the courtyard. The plaza will be expanded and beautified, increasing its functionality as a gathering space while providing a unique setting for spiritual reflection. And the final objective for the campaign, establishing a building reserve fund. The cathedral currently lacks any form of endowment. The creation of such a fund would offset future maintenance costs as well as provide long-term financial stability.
An endowment would allow us to be able to address the problems that we don't see right now in an aging facility, and so when it's not going to get any newer.
Which is why the timing of the Restore and Renew campaign is so important. We must act now to preserve this religious institution for future generations, ensuring that the cathedral we love today, the one that serves hundreds of thousands of Catholics each year, will continue to do so for years to come.
This is where it all starts, and this is where it all ends if you live around here. So it's pretty important to maintain it in, I think, in splendor and decency and in elegance. It just can't be too good.
It's very important that we don't let such a beautiful place go to disrepair. In the future, we need to ensure that the cathedral is as beautiful as it is today.
With the support of the entire Holy Name and Chicago Catholic community, we can make that happen. Together, we can preserve this religious and historical treasure and leave a legacy in the process.
As Archbishop, I'm very proud of the Cathedral Parish. I think Chicago has a great Cathedral Parish, and it has a building that reflects our history as a diocese and as a community, not just a Catholic community. All of that is important for the future as it has been for the past. And I would ask people to be part of that by contributing to this campaign.
So people can sit up and say, I belong to Holy Name Cathedral. I'm proud of that. I'm proud I belong here. I'm proud I'm part of a cathedral community that's unique among parishes in the Archdiocese of Chicago. And even if they aren't a part of our parish, to be able to say, I'm part of the community, the Catholic community first, but the Chicago community that took care of a treasure, something that's a vital piece of Chicago.